Good evening, everyone.
Hey.
Cheers.
Well,
Yes,
Years.
Cheers. Well, you broke the 1 year thing.
boys, 1 year. Cheers.
1 year.
We did it.
Congratulations to ourselves.
We didn't
Uh-oh.
get
Look,
to
people
each
are
other.
calling.
I
What's
wanted
this?
to
Congratulations.
So, tonight we are theming on action. Action is like my favorite genre overall. It's that genre that doesn't matter my mood, happy, sad, mad. I could pop on a good action movie and just chill and relax. It's my go-to genre. So that is what we are celebrating tonight. We're talking all action movies. And I'm pretty damn excited about it. But before we do, first let's see who's here. Some amazing people. I love this community. We've got Adrian, first one in here as always.
Action packed.
Yes, Collector Movie Man, how are you? Caveman, howdy. We got Tiger Blue. How you doing? We got Johnny in the house.
Johnny.
Yes. Look at that. We've got Holland.
There he is.
Mr.
We've
Rhodes.
got our number one fan, Tiana.
Give it up, Mike. Show it to her.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, there you go. Mine does
There we
that.
go. There you go. Enjoy that.
You're the only one with a fancy computer.
We've got Huck in the house.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Oh,
a
you
new
get to
sitcom
speak
we're
here.
making, by the way.
Wookie.
We've got Corey in the house. We got Jeff in the house. Who else do we got?
Jeff.
We got Magic Hands in the house. And now this, thank you so much. We did indeed hit a year, which we will be going over in about a minute here. Otherwise, we got fans of something. How are you?
Yeah.
We have my mom in here.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Nice.
We got Laren in here.
Larry.
Movie Hunter.
Yes.
What's up, movie hunter?
Sarah, how are
Hey,
you?
Sarah. What's up, girl?
And I think we're about caught up. So let's talk about the fact that we hit a year. How about that?
Bravo.
Consistently, very consistently.
What a deal. We did it, y'all. We kept
We
going.
survived the year.
It is hard to do anything consistently for a year. And our very first stream was March 19th of 2023. It's kind of wild. We hit a year. So yay, 1 year. Thank you to all who watched.
Look at that.
So I went through. This is the streams we've done as Collectors Club core episodes, and then that's not even counting. We do our recommendations now each month, which is its own side thing, but just the core episodes. Like I said, we started all the way back in March of last year. The first two episodes were on Huck's channel. Then we switched to hold on, this one. We switched to my channel, and we had Derek join us in episode 3.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep.
It was 3.
Yes.
On the first episode, but not in official capacity.
Yes. Episode 5 and 6. And what's funny is after this, we lost all track of where the hell we were. You see episode 8 there? We also had another episode 8.
My bad. I apologize, everyone. Sorry about
Hell
that.
yeah.
Why I just named
Hey,
mine
not
going to
everybody
the
was
Oscars.
numbering them. It got me confused.
That's why I didn't name mine. with
Derek,
the-
you threw me
I
off.
thought I
You
lost
stopped
track
with the
too.
numbers, and then I was
And
lost.
I labeled the Christmas one based on the one prior to mine. What
Yeah.
the heck?
That's right. The
Well
Oscars,
done,
I'm like,
boys,
the
well
Oscars.
done.
And then I don't have to remember. Glad I was right and thinking it was wrong.
We're the Collectors Club. We're not the mathletes. So
Yeah. We're not smart.
we collect, we don't count.
I know we needed a counter in this club.
Yeah, Tim, that was your job.
we got Tony. We also got Tony.
Okay.
Double Tonys.
Yeah, double Tonys. We're double Tony in it here.
Two scoops of Tony.
It's not the counting club.
Exactly.
My favorite
next
episode was Christmas one.
Nice.
But yes, so think of this as the end of season 1 of the Collectors Club. The 4 of us are going to be kind of slightly retooling, for kind of a season 2, essentially. So think of it that way if you want. And then we're going to try to count better for season 2.
Let's just not number the episodes.
Let's forget
the
about
easiest way to get it
Probably.
right.
Yeah, we should give the episodes like subtitles, like a TV show does. Like Friends, the one with
that's why I
blah,
just
blah.
named.
Yeah.
I genuinely forgot what episode the Oscars one was. That's why I just called it. Go to the other.
It's so funny that when the 1 year thing hit, I went back and looked at Mike's and I'm like, episode 8, how the heck does that work if we've been doing
That's
them
not
every
right.
month?
We went back in time.
Time travel theme next, and then it'll fix everything.
All right. So you guys ready to talk action now?
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Because we
We'll
will
try.
dive into our action-packed collectibles with
Like
the
this.
best we possibly can.
Right.
We're running out of collectibles, people.
Yeah, pretty much.
We
We're gonna
are.
have to start counting instead.
That was our one job, people, collectibles, and we messed it up.
That's right.
All right,
Rename.
Huck, why don't you start us off with collectibles?
All right. Do we want to do sidebar and big picture?
Sure.
Do that. All right.
Which then let me
And then
swap
just hold
to
me
you.
over.
Slide them on over.
Yes.
There we go. So
Look,
the
I
first thing,
figured
and again, guys, and this is why we're going to slow down this. I can't remember if I've shown this, so we're going to do a little James Bond and do the Aston Martin first. And of course, it's like it makes noise. The wheels turn. Look at that. You can tell that the battery is so old, it sounds like it's drowning in water. All right, so eventually that'll shut up in a second. So, okay, so here's my car. All right, and again, I feel car's possessed. It's now turned into Christine. So the rest are pretty much all pops with one other exception. So
Maximum overdrive over there.
It's both motion
All right,
and.
I'll just roll with it. I got action sound effects. All right,
Yeah,
we're gonna do the TV action, and we're gonna go with a little Crockett and Tubbs
Nice.
because that was a really great Miami Vice. Love that show. Gonna do a little get to the movies now with John McClane and Hans Gruber.
That's where it's at right
It's
there.
Die Hard. I mean, you can't get more action packed than these guys.
Yes.
Let's see, and then some individuals here. I mean, an action star in his own right, just Mr. T, y'all. I pity the fool, right? They don't think I'm an action star. And of course, we got The Rock from the
Nice.
Jumanji movies.
Nice.
Digging that. And then here's sort of like a twofer, little Indiana Jones holding the golden idol in his whip,
Oh,
looking like a badass. And then also my cream of the crop. I got this like years ago, I don't know, 25 years ago off eBay, and I hope the camera does it justice. So this is a custom-made Indiana Jones,
right.
Harrison Ford. I mean, look at the jacket, the zipper, the whip. It's got the gun right there. He's got gloves on all the way down to the shoes. This is just an absolute great
Is
replica.
that fuzzy right there, Huck? The hat?
What's that?
Looks like the fuzzy, the hat.
Yes, it's a very fuzzy fez hat,
Very
fedora. And then that's a really great looking young Indy. Although it's funny because when I look at it, the haircut almost looks more like Deckard from Blade Runner than
Yeah.
Indiana Jones. But the Harrison looks really good. It's got the 5 o'clock shadow. And this is just a stupendous collectible. I'm super happy to have it. So, yeah. In fact, I don't even think they had the whip. I had to make the whip.
Well
That's
done.
awesome.
yeah.
Hello.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So that's a one of a kind. You know, they just offered it up, and I'm like, I gotta have that. So there's my action collectibles, y'all.
All right.
I'm sure there's
Dare.
more, but
All right. Now I feel bad that I have more things than I thought I did.
Go
I'm
for
going
it.
to start off with some posters. Everyone likes this, right?
oh, love it.
Yeah.
This is a Scream Factory poster I just happen to have. I don't have a ton of them. So I thought I'd grab a couple of them I do. And this is from the all-time best Exorcism action ninja Flashdance movie ever made. That is Ninja 3. About
What? Nice.
I highly recommend this movie. It is a so bad it's good classic. I've made 2 videos on it on my channel because it's that good of a movie. Not kidding. It's great. And this still has the price tag on it because it's like 12 years old and I can't get it off. But I have this 101 Greatest War Movies book. I have a series of these. And I thought, that's action-y enough, right? There's no action movie one, sadly. But I grabbed that because I thought that was cool. We got Platoon on the front. Another, whatever the hell that is on the back. And, Robert De Niro from Deer Hunter on the side.
I didn't even think about grabbing books. I've got a book literally dedicated to action movies. I didn't even think about grabbing books.
Let me grab this one. On the bottom. This is my thing. I think I already showed, but I got this little 12-inch Predator. I had the movie Maniacs one, but I know I showed those. But this guy's cool. Yeah. You can pull his mask off. It's not like a fancy figure, but he's got his little mandibles.
That's kind of cool.
This thing lights up if I can remember where the button is. Right here.
Nice. That's surprising. The batteries still work.
I know.
It's not that old. It's like 2 years old, maybe.
Oh.
And then, I'm going theme here. I thought, what's more action to me than Saturday morning cartoons and wrestling growing up? So that's where I'm going with
wrestling.
So I have the world's strongest man, sexual chocolate Mark Henry action figure. Sexual chocolate right there. He is legitimately the world's strongest man. He did that twice in his career. I have Minnesota's own Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, who is an amazing wrestler, R.I.P. I have everyone's favorite wrestler, Mojo Rawley, for some reason. I don't know why I have this. I think I got it for free.
Holland was a fan of sexual chocolate.
Oh, yeah. Mark Henry's great. And I have my Sting figure. He just retired like a week or 2 ago. It's big. It's beat up, if you can't tell. Because this is from when I was like 5 years old. I've had it that long. It's an in-action figure. It doesn't move. But it's cool. Old Surfer Sting. And happy birthday to this fella, which is a funny coincidence. The Undertaker, everybody.
Damn, he's buff.
And this is
it looks like Solomon Grundy from DC.
He does, yeah. And this is one of those really cool figures that would sweat. So you would put water in his back.
What?
And there's a little button here, and he would ooze sweat out of himself. I also had the Rock one. I don't know where that one is.
Nah, it's disgusting.
It's his birthday, so happy birthday, Undertaker. That was just kind of funny that happened today. Everyone's into that new X-Men cartoon. Here's the original Cyclops from the cartoon from 1994, I believe.
Maximum Sweat.
Maximum Sweat. Yeah, that's what they were called. I think. I got these pretty cool new style He-Man and Skeletor.
That's cool.
They're cool, yeah.
And of course, we have a Skeletor Monster Jam truck because I found that while I was perusing. When I grabbed that, throw that in the monster truck bin over there. Who likes Small Soldiers?
Yeah,
Small Soldiers,
great movie.
I know I do because I got whatever the hell this guy's name is.
Oh, that guy's so cool.
Around, clicks into place. Can't think of his name, but he was my favorite character at the time. And Tim, we were talking before the show started. Street Sharks is back. Bang.
Yeah.
Street Sharks.
That is jawsome.
It is very awesome.
That's jawsome. All right, is that in the show? Did they say that in the show? Okay. Because that came to you like so quick. I'm like,
that is what I have. I thought I'd go the weird route for the toys because I had a
weird is good.
One.
Yes,
I know wrestling.
All right, Mike.
All right. I thought I had a lot until Derek showed his. So let's look at what we got now. I know I've shown these before on some stream, but you got to have your Punishers, great action movie, and you got the Chase Edition. So there you go. All right. Let's see.
Yep.
Oh, the Top Gun Maverick cup, of course. Drinking out of this. Very good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Top Gun. I forgot my shirt.
Predator pop. And this one's cool because he's changing invisible. You see?
Oh, yeah. It's all glittery.
Mm-hmm. And then we got, this Predator. Look at that.
Nice.
We got a John Wick popcorn bucket.
Nice.
Yep. And not only that, inside, you get some Continental coins. So you can check into a hotel.
Oh, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's before popcorn buckets were cool.
And then this poster for Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, Part 1. Yeah. There you go. And then you got to have a Top Gun Maverick popcorn bucket.
You see, I didn't even think about popcorn buckets, and you guys are
Yeah.
thinking about.
Well, you should have, Tim.
Think outside the box.
Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning popcorn bucket.
Boy, you eat a lot of popcorn. Look at that.
I do. I go to movies a lot.
Sorry.
And then you got to have your IMF pin, to wear that.
Nice.
There you go.
That's cool.
And I think that's everything.
Nice.
Nice, dude. Yeah.
Okay. I can't follow up the quantity of these guys. I felt like I showed so freaking much already. But I have the John Wick Hot Toys.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that is good.
I'm very bad at posing these guys. Like, he could do so much, but I don't know how to do it well and make it look cool. So he just stands here with his gun. I don't know.
He's waiting for his motivation.
To go with him, I have the coins as well, but I paid too much for these. I bought these. I bought basically this thing before they started like making cheaper replicas, throwing them in with like the box sets and stuff. This is from Chronicle Collectibles. I paid like $120. It was this and these together, but now they throw these in with like Blu-ray sets. So I kind of overpaid.
I got these included with my popcorn.
I know. Like I said, I bought this back when John Wick 1, like around that time frame. So they weren't doing that stuff at that point.
Yeah, it costs about the same as a large popcorn bucket anyway. So.
And then this one is a much cheaper replica. But still cool. Got that one. We got a little bit of Smokey and the Bandit. Can't go wrong with Smokey and the Bandit. And then my last one, because I did not come with as much as you guys, I guess, but I love this one. Eleanor. I don't care what anyone says. The Gone in 60 Seconds remake is a freaking blast. I love that one. And Eleanor is like one of the most memorable movie cars ever, in my opinion. I love that so much. So that's all I had besides stuff that I felt like I already showed.
It's okay, Tim. You still won in price with that hot toy alone.
Yeah.
It's $30 and got popcorn with it.
You guys did good with John Wick. I forgot I had playing cards. I had John Wick playing cards. Forgot about those.
Oh, funny.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty cool.
All right. So go ahead. Just ask it in the chat, Sarah. If it pertains to the stream, we'll answer. But otherwise, who remembers the More You Know commercials? Of course I do. Of course.
I watched television.
Hey, Mara, how you doing? Tiger.
Yeah, what's going on, girl?
Those popcorn buckets are huge. Yes, the popcorn buckets are awesome.
They're fun.
We got Melon here.
Mel.
Otherwise, here we go. Oh, yeah. So, all right. Let's get going with the next part, which is going to be once I find the thing right here. Here it is. Cinematic Attic. So, this one we're going to be talking about one recommendation from the 80s for action movies and one recommendation from the 90s for action movies. Kind of a little under the radar, but best people can get. Not everyone has seen everything, so not everyone can go as deep cuts. But whatever you got that you think people should see from the 80s and the 90s. And we're going to start it off with Mike now.
Yay. Okay. So our 80s, and this is 89, so just barely made the cut. I was so excited when I looked up the date. We got to go with Roadhouse. Yes, the original.
Nice.
And this totally counts because, Derek, you haven't seen this one, right? So not everyone has seen this.
I've been wanting to watch it.
You got to watch this one. I watched it again today. It is excellent. It's so good. Patrick Swayze at his finest. I mean, his physicality in this movie is phenomenal. But it's kind of plays a little bit like he's a small town hero, right? He goes in as a cooler, they call it, to control the bouncers, kind of manage the bar scene because it's rowdy, it's crazy in there. And but I love his lines. He's like, he gives all these rules. He's like, be nice, gotta be very nice until it's time not to be nice. I love it. He has some great lines in there. It gets more action-packed towards, I guess, the final third of the movie when this like crime mob boss who controls the town is like pissed off at him and they're going at each other's throats. Literally, this guy freaking rips out a throat in one scene, and that the practical gore there was fantastic. But yeah, there's a love interest in this, very romantic. It is a very rated R film though, so be careful of that. My wife was like, "Oh my, what the heck are you watching?" There's a lot of, but it's Vinegar Syndrome, to be expected. But yeah, the Vinegar Syndrome title is excellent, by the way. If you can get the VS copy of this one, special features fantastic, and the 4K quality is amazing on this.
It's a killer release. So before you go on to the next one, who saw the remake?
Oh yes, I want to talk about that one. I saw it. Did you guys see it?
Yeah,
I was about to.
Right. So zero spoilers, but what did you think, Mike?
So I liked it, but it is way different. This is a way different complete story. I mean, and off the trailer, involves like ultimate fighting heavily in this one, which was completely random, at least way different than the original. So I like how they changed it up and they just didn't redo the same thing, because I think that would have been worse because we would compare it to the original a lot more. So it was fun for what it was. The action was crazy. It was Conor McGregor playing the villain, right?
Yeah.
Oh my. That was crazy. Those action scenes, the intense fighting. Oh my, the action was excellent in this one. But I don't know. I felt some of the acting was a little stiff here, and I don't know. I don't like the story as much. I prefer the original. How about you, Tim?
Yeah, so I kind of agree with Caveman here on it doesn't work as a Roadhouse remake, but I enjoyed it well enough. It has a lot of technical problems, like the cinematography is not very good. There's CGI in the fights. They're not filmed well. But Jake Gyllenhaal is always fun to watch on screen, and I enjoyed him. His chemistry on screen is good. Conor McGregor was actually pretty fun, like just smiling the whole way
He
through.
was terrifying. Oh my gosh, his character, like, I do not
He
want
knows
to
he can do it. That's why he's scary.
Yeah. So yeah, a different title. If it was a different movie and it wasn't Roadhouse, I think it'd be received a little bit better than it is. But yeah, some of the cinematography and the choices, they go first person with some of the fighting, which is really freaking weird. Like really weird.
Yeah, that's hard to pull off, though, I guess.
But
And I know they wanted it to go to theaters, but it did kind of feel like a streaming movie after I watched it. I kind of got it. I'm like, okay, I kind of see why they decided streaming.
But
Did they have like a showing just for Jeff Bezos, and he was still like, nah.
So go ahead with your second one.
Yes. All right. 90s. I think it was 93. Cliffhanger.
Yeah,
Yes. Sylvester Stallone. This movie is awesome as well. I love the opening too, because you don't expect it. It's like jaw dropping. Like, what the heck just happened? They totally went for it right away. So that was a great shocker. But yeah, you got Stallone in there. He climbs cliffs and rescues people with this team. He got Michael Rooker on the team. That is awesome. Yondu. So that's really cool.
Yep.
And then it becomes like, I guess, an action heist movie, sort of, where you got these bad guys. They're escaping with money they got, and plane crashes, money flies places. And then somehow Stallone and Michael Rooker's character get tied up in it, and then they're after each other. And it's like a cat and mouse game, but the action is great. And it has one of the best kills. The cave kill with the cave spike. Oh my God. That great practical gore effect once again. But yeah, it's fantastic. And the ice, the snow, it's so isolating, that feel of this movie. And the 4K is fantastic on this, by the way, too.
That is top tier Stallone. Top tier.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
He's good in this movie. You feel the emotions. Yeah, it's very dramatic in scenes too. Like Rocky is definitely his go-to, but this is really next up drama, right? For sure.
I need to watch it again. I don't think I've seen that in its entirety since like it came out like 30 years ago.
Yeah,
and probably one of the greatest intros too. That intro on the line, and he's trying to save that girl. Like what? Yeah. That's like a James Bond type opening. Like you just open like with a killer scene, and then you get into the story.
Yeah.
Oh,
I ripped off Ace Ventura, but otherwise it was pretty good.
That was great. That was such a great parody. He's holding on the raccoon. Oh my God, so good.
All right, so Hawk, yours.
All right. So I'm excited to tell you about this 80s movie, y'all. If you haven't seen Carl Weathers, R.I.P. my brother, Action Jackson, Carl Weathers, Craig T. Nelson, Vanity, Sharon Stone. He's basically a Detroit cop, and Craig T. Nelson's the bad guy. He's a big like auto magnate who's trying to like systematically take out all the all the other competitions, and Vanity is sort of this really troubled person in the film, and Vanity's very good. Her acting is way better than you expect it to be. And the producers are like Joel Silver, the guy who worked on Die Hard and those type of super action movies. And Carl, I mean, he is legit an action star in this thing, as good as any of the other guys. And it is so sad to me that this somehow didn't get enough traction, because this could have easily put Carl as an action star right up there with like the sidebar guys like Van Damme, Seagal, all those easily had the charm and charisma times 10 of those guys. And I just want to shout to because I saw this again last year just to give it a rewatch. It holds up great. The action's fantastic. The acting is really good. And Craig T. Nelson's a good bad guy. And Carl's fantastic. So I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I wanted to dig a little bit deeper and show you some love for a very rarely talked about action film.
Nice.
That's a great deep cut pull, and you recommended it before the stream. We talked about it, but it is right now the Warner Archive sale on moviezing.com. It's 4 for $49. Action Jackson's part of that, as is one of the titles I'll be talking about.
Yep.
So there is good stuff for Warner Archive. You can get pretty cheap right now.
Yeah, because that is the Warner Archive. And I know what Tim's going to talk about. And the funny thing is, I bought those two in the last Warner Archive sale, and they were phenomenal. I loved it. All right, anybody else want to chime in for a jump to 90s?
It's a great movie. I like the whole concept too of I don't need a gun. You know what I mean? He's just a badass. The car chase is awesome.
Car chase is awesome. And Carl, they give Carl one-liner quips just like Schwarzenegger. And if you watch the trailer, he's all shirtless, all oiled up, and he's got this massive gun of I don't know, shoots grenades or something, and just points it at the dude. It's in the trailer. And he's like, "How do you like your ribs?" And he just goes, I'm like, oh my God. Like on the trailer alone, if you don't want to see how do you like your ribs, don't watch it. But if you want to, how do you like your ribs?
He's got great charisma. He can actually act. Unlike,
so good.
Like you were saying, he's better than Stallone or Jean-Claude because he can actually act. So I would be interested to see that.
Well, no, he's better than Seagal and Jean-Claude. Stallone can act. Don't take that.
I will have none of this Jean-Claude Van Damme slander. Okay, none of that.
I'm just
saying,
no
one's more American than Jean-Claude.
I'm just saying
Van Damme,
they can act better. I like Van Damme. Okay, let's move on before Mike has a heart attack. All right, 90s, baby. One of my all-time favorite action stars ever is Jackie Chan, and I'm going Rumble in the Bronx, y'all. This is, let me tell you why this is such a spectacular film. So he goes to New York to visit his uncle, and there's all these gangs around, and they're just up to no good. It's like a very simple story. Shenanigans, he's in his the convenience store that his uncle runs, and his daughter, I think, is running it at the. And these hooligans come in there. They think they can pull a fast one. Not while Jackie's in there, y'all. And he just hands their ass to them so easily. It's such a great opening segment. And the fight scene in there, that they have a little hangout. The bad guys have a hangout. One of the all-time best hand-to-hand, well choreographed action scenes you'll see. Just check it out. I can't even describe it other than it's awesome. And being a Jackie Chan fan, before this came out, I was here in California. I just moved out here, 95, I believe. And it came out at the Man's Chinese Theater. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to premiere at the Chinese Theater. I'm going to go see Jackie Chan because that's where all the Chan fans were, man. So when it came out, it was the big deal seeing it on that screen with Jackie Chan fans. And it was a slam dunk for me. I was like, yes, hallelujah. It's his first American release. And it was awesome. And thankfully it didn't fail. And we never got any more Jackie Chan. We got even more. For those who'd never heard of Jackie Chan, we were blessed to get so much more Jackie after that. And his Hong Kong stuff's great too. So I love Rumble in the Bronx because it brought American audiences to him. And it is a absolute blast of a action movie. So I hope you guys check it out. It's so good. Damn right. Look at that, Bob. Come on, here we go. There it is, Vin.
So that's very high for me. I also love Mr. Nice Guy, which also happens to be Warner Archive.
Dude, Mr. Nice Guy, put that in your cart. Nobody talks about that either. That was also my other
theaters, I think.
That is such a good movie. Yeah, you got it, Infinite. Yeah.
Yeah, Jackie is awesome. What is some of your other guys' favorite Jackie Chan movies? because he is awesome.
I'm so limited. I'm like Rush Hour. That's all I know.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm bad
man,
Well,
if you-
I'm bad at action, but I love Jackie Chan. Like he's just like the coolest guy ever, and like he's the real deal. I need to go
I
back
mean,
and
like-
do a bid.
Like Striking Distance is good. There's one called Who Am I? Much like Mr. Nice Guy. If you haven't
Yes.
seen Who Am I? That is a freaking masterpiece. I love that movie so much. Yeah.
yes, the chat is really loving Jackie though, because he is
Well,
awesome.
First
What was
Strike.
that one called? I remember from it when I was younger. It was like a drunken fighting master.
Oh,
something
Drunken
like that.
Master and
Oh,
Drunken
that was
Master.
pretty good. That was
Those
fun.
some of his
Oh,
Hong
yeah,
Kong hits. Yeah.
The fact that he does everything himself though shows on screen. There's no the
Yeah.
cinematographer doesn't need to figure out a way to kind of fake it with the stunt doubles or anything. Nope, it's all Jackie just kicking ass. But he does everything in like this fun family friendly way. It's just you just have a smile on your face. He's kicking everyone's ass.
Oh, watch
He's
it right
just-
now.
You
So
know,
dude,
And I think it's First Strike, the ladder fight. If you've seen him with the ladder and he pops you like, and it's like a tall, like 10-foot ladder, and he's
Do that, yeah.
manipulating
yeah.
that thing. He's
Yeah.
popping, he's jumping through it. He hits people, as it expands open and comes back. Like in every Jackie Chan movie, there's one, at least one, if not way more, but a stellar fight you can walk away and go, damn, I got to see that again. And you rewind it and just go watch that fight again. Like so good.
I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah, Rush Hour is fun too. I love the Rush Hour movies.
I
think
can't.
that-
Jackie, I don't picture Jackie doing something if he can't do his own stunts. You got what I mean? I feel like he's too authentic to try to let someone else do it.
so that's why
Yeah.
we need a Tom Cruise versus Jackie Chan movie, all their own stuff. Let's go.
Before it's too late. Yeah.
So
Well, Jackie always brings in his own stunt team too. So when he was working on those Shanghai Nights and Shanghai Noon with Owen
Oh, those
Wilson, I
were
think
fun,
Brett,
too.
Brett Ratner was the director. When those fight scenes came, it was his Hong Kong team, and watch his fights. There's no fast cuts. He says, lock the camera down and watch us do our stuff. The stuntmen take the time to choreograph a beautiful fight. Let's see the fight. If I'm
Yeah.
watching editing, I'm not watching a fight and you've insulted the stuntmen. Show me that fight and show me what those stuntmen learn to entertain us. That's what I want to see.
which unfortunately is what you do get with a lot of newer action, though, with people that don't know how to actually fight. You just get quick cuts because these people aren't. It's just choreography. At least John Wick does a shockingly good job at it because
Excellent.
he actually trains to do that stuff.
yeah.
He does a
Mhm.
shockingly
He
good
does
job.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
but we talked about the Roadhouse remake. There is cuts galore in the Roadhouse remake.
Really?
Cuts galore.
Yeah.
No.
The best action is I'll lock the camera, do a nice oneer.
No,
Yeah, I mean, John Wick will do one long take of him going through something. I mean, that, yeah, he is. It would be.
they'll make a lot of money though. They'll be happy.
Yeah,
after
there's
that.
two guys who won't let you hire a stuntman. Oh, so good. Thanks for letting me rattle on about Jackie Chan. Chats and
Oh, yeah.
everybody.
He's awesome.
Yeah, I love Rush
I
Hour.
think
It's
everyone
fun.
wanted to hear about Jackie. But all right, Derek, your turn.
We're gonna go to another martial arts master and another Vinegar Syndrome release with my 80s pick. I'm not a big action guy, if you can't tell already. That was one of the things going into this. I was like,
Because of your
okay,
wrestling figures.
I grew up in a strict Arnold Schwarzenegger religious house. That's basically all I've watched my entire life. I've seen like 4 Stallone movies, Jean-Claude Van Damme, even less. But Miami Connection from is I love So Bad It's Good movies, and I even more So Bad It's Good action movies. This
Classic
movie's
Derek
called-
pick.
Yes, I said I'm just gonna like. I didn't even tell you what I was picking because I'm like, no one else is gonna pick this.
Yeah.
It
You'd be
has
right.
an amazing soundtrack. It's an amazing release. It is like a legitimate martial arts expert in this film. He's amazing at the things that he does well. Acting is not one of those things, but that's what makes the movie so good. And him and the other ragtag band of orphans he lives with need to fight the gang in the town because they keep selling that damned cocaine in their club where their band plays called Dragon Sound, which has amazing songs. Like I said, the soundtrack for this is outstanding. I legit listen to it often while driving.
Look at this. Someone else that says it's great.
I know Vin loves it. He'll pop up. But yeah, this movie is so fun. Like, you like Stone Cold, you got a kick out of Stone Cold. You'd get a kick out of this. Like, Miami Connection is glorious. You don't need to buy the super fancy limited edition Who Would You. You can watch the Riff Tracks version, which is where I was introduced to it, and I was like, this movie is amazing.
The fact that it has a Riff Tracks version kind of says
On it.
Oh yeah, Riff Tracks live. You can watch them make fun of it live on stage, and I still bought this because I liked it that much. And there's like 3 different cuts of the movie because they don't.
Man, I don't know if you convinced me not to see it or see it.
I like the way that you sell it. Is well, if you like Stone Cold, you're gonna love this.
Stone Cold is awesome. Tim liked it.
I did.
I'm just saying, when you set the bar at Stone Cold,
Hey, I watched this or Stone Cold over most action movies. That's just my action taste.
Okay, that's
What's in that glass right there, Derek?
take it with a grain of salt, Tim. I've seen the movie. It is entertaining for other reasons.
Okay, all right.
Touching movie. Very touching.
Touching.
Lots of ninjas. Lots of songs about ninjas killing each other and bar fights. So it's like Roadhouse and Jackie Chan combined with music.
Take it easy.
I feel like I'm gonna watch it and be like, "This is not like Roadhouse."
Oh no, it's not. Not as much throw ripping. I don't own the second one, so I feel bad. But don't worry, you can also watch it on Riff Tracks because this is Samurai Cop from 1991. Another so bad it's good action classic. It's hard to sell that one above Miami Connection, I'll be honest, because Miami Connection is a legit classic. But if you like the worst one-liners you've ever heard in your life, really bad wigs that are obviously wigs because the actor cut his hair and they had to reshoot the beginning of the movie.
Oh my god.
And men in thong underwear for no reason, and jokes about African American genitalia. It's a good movie, but it has and this guy does no kung fu in the whole movie, even though he is a samurai cop who never dresses up like a cop or a samurai. But I highly recommend it if you want to just crack open a brewski with your buddies and watch a fun movie. Samurai Cop is the way to go.
I gotcha.
I don't know. I think, like Mike said, I don't know if you sold me or unsold me on this. I don't.
But I made you curious, and that's the important.
Oh yeah, I will say these are good Derek picks. I will say
they're very Derek picks.
Yeah. I can't just be like RoboCop because like everyone likes RoboCop.
Right.
Well, jeez. Okay. All right. Well, hold on. Then Samurai Cop is not in the same league as Miami Connection, but it's another fun film that is a must see.
A must see.
I knew Ben would be there.
Wow.
Oh, good. He's here.
Ben.
He'll support the Miami Connection.
Yeah.
All right.
Get some hate mail for that one.
Okay, my turn. All right. So one of the things I love about action is there's all different types. We've been talking a lot about the ass-kicking samurais and cops and big hulking men that kick ass, things like that. But there's also ones that are a little bit more family-friendly that involve like teenagers and stuff that still has action and thriller stuff to it. And one of them is War Games.
That's a good one.
I love War Games. It is a kid who starts playing a game on the computer. He thinks it's a game, and he actually sets a global thermonuclear war forward. And he's on the run from the government the whole time, and he's trying to fix things. It's a lot of fun, good suspense action. I love this one. This is like one of my favorite movies of the 80s. I freaking adore this movie. Actually, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be meeting Ali Sheedy, and I'm going to have to sign because I'm like, this is my go-to for her. So that is my 80s full.
Always love that computer. Like, shall we play a game?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, global thermonuclear war.
Dude, I like almost celebrated when this thing got a 4K announcement. I felt like this one kind of under the radar.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love this movie so
Such a good
freaking
movie,
much.
though.
Mike, you kind of were happy. You saw it, right?
Yeah, that movie's great.
Yeah. There we go. Mike and I agree on something.
Yeah.
It doesn't have Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's not made fun of by Riff Track, so I haven't seen it.
But it's
It's-
not weird enough for Derek because there's war
No.
and games.
No.
Shot selected it. They did Red Dawn, so I'm like,
Okay, so the next one here is a Warner Archive release. So you got to toss in Mr. Nice Guy, Action Jackson, and Showdown in Little Tokyo. Now, this one is big, buff, hulking men kicking ass.
Yeah.
This is Brandon Lee, pretty early Brandon Lee, right?
Yeah.
This is pre-Crow even.
Yeah, like
And,
second movie, I think.
all of his movies are pre-Crow, Tim.
All of us, that's true.
Ah!
Awkward.
I didn't want to go there.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
That was good. That was I didn't think
That
about
was-
that.
that was-
Okay,
that was-
all of us. Oh, shit.
Oh
All
my
right,
god.
but it's around rapid fire time.
Holy hell. That's okay. Blooper reel, mark it. What time is it?
All right, so
That was great.
but this is oh god,
You're very
this is
impressive.
Brandon Lee and Dolph Lundgren, who are completely different fighting styles teamed up together, and it is a blast. You got Lundgren, whose only defense is that he's a big hulking guy that could punch hard, and then Brandon Lee can do all the kicks and the flips and all the fun stuff, and they're a fun pairing. I enjoyed this one a ton, and the soundtrack to this is so good. Dude, this is legitimately, after I watched this, the soundtrack is way out of print. I paid like $60 to buy the CD.
Oh wow.
It's that damn good. So I cannot recommend this one enough. Like, throw this into the cart, Mr. Nice Guy,
Do it.
Action Jackson, and you'll have to find one more for the fourth. But
Yeah.
those are all
So
damn
Tim,
good.
can we go out on a limb and say this? It is probably also Dolph's best acting.
I mean, that's not a high bar.
No, it's
I
not.
don't know. Rocky
But-
Four.
but like-
Kindergarten Cop
Like,
2.
like his He-Man acting wasn't great. A lot of post-action stuff. He's very wooden, but I don't know. I felt like Brandon Lee brought a charm out of him that is absent in some of his solo endeavors. You know.
Yeah, I can go with that. There's actually some good drama with him in there. And
Yeah.
there's an awesome so one of the cool things with Dolph is he might not look like it, but he grew up knowing lots of like Japanese culture, and his house is like a Japanese style house with the see-through doors.
Yep.
But he has like throwing stars in there, and there's a cool like shootout fight scene in the house. It is such
That's
an
a great
awesome,
scene.
yeah, such an awesome underrated movie that I don't feel like gets a whole lot of love. We got Garrett in here. This is totally a
that
Garrett
you?
type of movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Garrett.
But yeah, we talked about some great. Well, three of us talked about great movies that I know are great, and then there's Derek.
I talked about great movies that I know are bad.
Well, you didn't
But
lie.
they're so bad that they're great. My favorite Brandon Lee movie is Laser Mission, which is also a Rev Track.
Laser. Oh, stop it now.
I feel
I
like
did a
it
video
was
about
making
that
up movies now.
49
Is that pre-Crow?
It was also pre-Crow, yeah. If you were wondering, yeah.
Just
I'm not gonna live that pre-Crow.
No, you're not. No, we're gonna keep that going.
It's like a Bible thing, pre-Crow.
I mean, look, maybe he shot
Easy.
one prior to the Crow that was released after the Crow.
Yeah, it happens.
It could happen.
It's like Almost Heroes.
All right, so moving on. All right, next up, we're going to hop on to Action Spotlight, and this is where we're going to go on to one person each that is an action-oriented actor. So we're not talking that one dude that did one action movie. We're talking people that their core of their filmography, they're action people. And we're going to kick this off with Mike's choice.
Yes. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yes. Okay. So this is totally an action star. Now, I know the Collector Club was talking trash, okay, talking trash on our Jean-Claude Van Damme. But come on, this guy has amazing acting talents. His physicality, okay, his physicality, his moves he can do. I count that as part of acting. So if you count that as part of acting, then he's excellent. But first up, you got Kickboxer, a masterpiece of a movie. This is like the Karate Kid, but with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I mean, it is excellent. And
Karate Kid is way better.
I don't know. This one, I'm telling you, has something about it. And like I said, his physicality. I mean, he's impressive in this movie, and he does the splits at a certain point. Like, who else can do that? That's why he's a great action star.
Yeah, Brandon Lee, Jackie Chan.
Well, okay.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
All right. Well, anyway, we got Hard Target. Okay, this is an excellent one as well. Takes place in New Orleans, right? You get some, Mardi Gras world fight.
That's my favorite, man.
Super fun. This is a really great action movie, very entertaining. So if you're gonna start on one, go with Hard Target.
I can agree with that. I liked Hard Target. That was actually
very, very good.
And Mike, that release also has the international cut. That's the one you want to see too, because there's more story and more character that Van Damme's actually pretty good at, and Lance Hendrickson.
He did punch a snake in Hard Target.
Yeah. There you go.
Come on.
And then you got to have the amazing Universal Soldier, right?
That is a good
one too. Yeah, this is a fun sci-fi action movie. There's a little time jump element in it, so this is very entertaining as well. So, who hates Universal Soldier? You tell me out there, people. No one. Right?
Yeah, I don't hate that one.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I'll let you know. I have it.
All right. And then, of course, you got the Expendables, where in Expendables 2, he's the villain, and they have an epic fight at the end. It's him and Stallone, right?
Oh, yeah.
That is a great fight. So
that's the best Expendables. Because
exactly. There you go. See, Jean-Claude Van Damme just elevates every movie he's in. Once again, here's my point.
In a way, you're right. But
all right. Which is the case for this movie as well. Street Fighter. He is one of the top actors in Street Fighter. I mean, come on, he is excellent in here. This movie is awesome. Okay,
he's one of the top build actors. Yes, I agree with you, Mike. He's the top build actor.
Guile perfectly. If you play Street Fighter 2, that is Jean-Claude Van Damme. So perfect for the role. Perfect.
He's so American, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Americano. Yeah. All right, and then he does a cameo in Last Action Hero, so that's cool. Cameo as himself.
Oh yeah, Last Action Hero, great.
And then he does some voice acting work as well. You know, if you do voice acting work, you are also very talented with Kung Fu Panda, Kung Fu Panda 2 and 3. He is Master Croc voice. So there you go.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Outstanding. He can do everything: the physicality, the action, voice work. It's endless. The complete package. Endless. Yes. So I think I've proven my point there. One of the greatest action heroes.
The thing is, like the 3 movies he's in, I own you pulled, which is Hard Target, Universal Soldier, which I haven't watched either of, and Street Fighter, which I watch because refer to my picks earlier. So
I know I'm in the minority. I don't even feel like it. I didn't grow up watching Van Damme. I grew up with Arnold and Stallone and Bruce Willis and like people like that. And I wasn't really watching Van Damme. And now that I'm visiting some Van Damme now, I'm like, he doesn't have that fun charisma that Arnold does to make up for his awful acting. So it's
hey, he's okay in some stuff.
But Tim, you get 2 Van Dammes in Double Impact.
Jesus, man!
Mike, where was that masterpiece? Come on,
I need to get more. Like I said, I haven't seen everything, but what I've seen has been excellent. So I'm ready to see his whole filmography.
I did. So someone commented on my video for Orbit DVD when I picked up Lionheart that I should pick up Lionheart. I've never seen it before. Any of you guys?
I haven't seen that. I've heard okay things about that. And Bloodsport's like his other good movie.
Yeah, I got Bloodsport.
Those have MVD releases, right? I think so.
I think
Bloodsport comes with, is that the one with Time Cop? Yeah, it's a double feature.
Oh, is it? Yeah, that's like the other one of his movies I remember seeing as a kid, like to an extent at least. That and Kickboxer.
Double impact, double the van damage.
That's right. That's right. That's what the trailer tells you, man. He knows.
Who would win, Van Damme or Chuck Norris? That's Chuck Norris. Come
Wins
on.
everybody. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, if you're picking both in their prime, yeah. I guess does it matter if Chuck Norris is sort of indispensable?
Yeah, he's a god among men.
Right?
Dead Man. I've never heard of Dead Man's Shoes, but if you're recommending it, I'm writing that down.
All right.
Yeah, I'll get it after Dead Man's Shoes. All right.
Dead Man's Shoes.
There's actually one like good movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme that like when it was coming out, people were like saying, "Wow, he's great in this movie," like legitimately, which was just JCVD, where he plays himself like a.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I saw that the other day at a swap meet, and I was so tempted to pick it up.
Yep, I've heard that's surprisingly great, at least as far as he goes.
They need to release. I would buy the heck out of Rush Hour 1, 2, and 4K. Oh, in a heartbeat.
Oh, those are fun flicks. Yeah. Oh my God, Replicant, hold it. Replicant. Oh my God, Replicant. That's
a lot of Van Damme love out there.
Mel Gibson, that's another guy.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford. Yeah, those are people I grew up watching. My dad never really put on Van Damme. Like Van Damme was just not in my household. So a lot of this stuff, besides I watched the Dennis Rodman movie when I was younger. that was my exposure.
Oh, is it Double Team?
Double Team, yeah. Which I always think is the other one where there's two of him. I always confuse the titles. Because Double Team also sounds like it would be two Van Dammes.
I know, right?
All right. So we'll go on to Huck's Choice, which to me is a better actor, but
solid choice. All right. So, and look, this guy's got way too. I didn't go pull nothing. All right, we're just gonna talk about him. You guys know him, you love him, and it's Sylvester Stallone is my action pick. And look, let's just get in the Wayback Machine and just talk about Sly. Right, coming out as Victor Frankenstein in Death Race 2000. You know, the Roger Corman flick. I mean, so good up against David Carradine. And that was like 75. So the next year, 76, we get, I mean, his opus, right? It's Rocky. He writes Rocky. He sticks to his guns. He won't sell the script without him being attached as the lead role. And that fortitude to stick with that, like, created his career, you know? And we roll into movies like Rocky 2, which to me is like just a fantastic continuation of the first movie. 1 and 2, it's like the same movie just broken in half, like a Lord of the Rings. And it's funny because 2 is directed by Stallone, but it feels very organically connected as though John Avildsen had directed both. I love Nighthawks, which came after that with Billy D. Williams, Rutger Hauer, Lindsay Wagner, Bionic Woman fame. If you guys haven't seen Victory, right, the big soccer movie has Pele in it and all that.
Yeah.
That was actually a lot of fun. I remember that showing on TV a lot. That's where I saw that one, was television. But y'all, then we roll into the 80s. Come on, you got your Rocky 3, First Blood, Rhinestone, the
best one.
Rocky 4.
you missed Death Race 2000.
He mentioned it.
That was the first thing I said.
Oh, did you say Death Race first? Oh, damn!
The very first thing I said.
Yeah.
I was surprised you didn't say anything, Tim. I was like,
yeah, you must have been distracted looking at your cart with Van Damme in it. So, yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, because after that he rolled into Rocky. But you know, and he directed Staying Alive, which I know me and Mika enjoy.
0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
But yeah, but I mean, 80s gave us so much like great cheesy Stallone, and just great Stallone, not even cheesy, just great stuff. Cobra, Over the Top, Rambo 2 and 3. Look, Tango and Cash with let's go with some Tango and Cash, right? The chemistry between him and Kurt Russell is absolutely to die for. You got Brian James, one of the bad guys in there. Fubar, baby, puts the grenade in his mouth, he tapes it, and they're just doing the rat-a-tat with each other like it's bad cop and worse cop, you know? God, I love Tango and Cash so much, like more than I probably should.
That's a blast, though. And Over the Top, how many people can make an arm wrestling movie that entertaining?
Not many. Not many.
That too.
Yeah, when he turns the hat, it's over. You know, such a great tell. And look, I know his shot at comedies, like what I mentioned, Rhinestone, maybe Throw Mama from the Train, not so great.
Stop, but my mom will shoot.
Yeah, but if you haven't seen it, Oscar, I think, is the one comedy It's amazing. It's funny. Marissa Tomei, Tim Curry. It's such, he's a Italian mobster, snaps provolone, Mr. Provolone. And it's a very underrated comedy that I think finally his humor works in that film. And again, 90s. Let's talk about it. You got some Demolition Man with Wesley Snipes.
Yes.
That's like the one I grew up with.
Sandra Bullock, the adorable Sandra Bullock, one of his first team ups with Rob Schneider, which he would later team up with Judge Dredd, which personally
I like Dredd. I like Judge
everyone.
That's a
Yeah,
good
right.
one.
Everyone craps on Dredd. I think it's a really well made. Danny Cannon, who I think also did Masters of the Universe, has a good handle on the look, the style, the wardrobe. I think is kick ass. I don't care about the comic that he takes his helmet off. Everyone's like, oh, Judge Dredd never takes his helmet off. Calm down. This is the movie, and you're paying Stallone $15 million. He's taking his helmet off, y'all. Like you're paying him. People want to see Stallone. So, because I didn't have that connection to the comic of not removing the helmet, I could care less. The only thing is I wish they ran out of money because it was a cheap movie to make, which is they were going to have all those zombies to fight that were in those tubes. And then they just didn't have money to do it. So that's why we got sort of a quick sort of wrap up type ending. But man, Max von Sydow is in this.
He's great.
Who is his twin? It's the guy from Bellazzar the Cajun. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, what was it? Well, Armand Assante.
Oh, I was going to pull that right out of thin air.
Yeah. Right? I mean, Bellazzar.
That's what I call
It's
him.
funny that I can remember Bellazzar the Cajun and I couldn't get his name out. But look, and a very great Stallone movie, probably my, I don't know, top 5 any given day is Daylight. Nobody talks about Daylight. That thing is a banger, man.
Yes.
Yeah, I hear a lot of it.
Come on, let me hear it. Who's seen Daylight?
About Daylight. Yeah.
Daylight is not talked about enough when it comes to disaster movies. Like Twister and some of the others get all the love, but Daylight is gripping from start to finish. And considering I hate the idea of drowning is one of my worst fears, the idea of being in a tunnel under all that water and it's coming in, that's terrifying. That movie is so badass.
And look, let's just say his acting and it's great. You get a young Viggo Mortensen playing the action star, which was, he was so good. Amy Brenneman, who's coming off of NYPD Blue. The drama in this film is people are in jeopardy and some are dying. It's very they take the time for you to fall in love with those characters. And then when one passes away, you miss them. And that's the sign of a really great. That reminds me of back in the day, Poseidon Adventure. If you guys have ever seen that with Gene Hackman, that is a star-studded cast, and you fall in love with them as they are hoping to make it to the end. And as certain ones die, you're like, oh my God, your heart breaks. And I think that film gets it. And you look, some great dramatic stuff. Tim, I know who else might like this, but Copland.
Yeah.
Right.
That came up in the chat. Great movie.
Copland is so good. And then probably I don't know, personally, I feel like that's one of his last super great films. Cause then some of the newer stuff Get Carter, Spy Kids, whatever, not huge, as a personal, but the Rocky Balboa, the wrap up to the Rocky franchise, his appearances in Creed, where he gets Oscar nominated again. That's super great. And the fact that he appears in James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy. I love that Stallone is in a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I'd love to see those Reavers. Yeah, right. Get their own stuff. And then Expendables. This guy's just written his career, reinvented himself just when you thought he was out. He comes back out with the Expendables. He stays relevant. Then he gets the Creeds and the Guardians. So he's still with us. And I don't know how many more action films he can pull out, but he's given us his life and his every breath he can with action. Same with Jackie Chan, Arnold. They've done what they can, and I just can't applaud Sly enough for such an outstanding career. So
the chat is naming some pretty damn good stuff here. I See You was pretty freaking good, actually.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I worked in the theater when that came out.
I thought it was just okay.
I liked it quite a bit. It's not an action film, but it's pretty good.
Shade was good. If you like a good poker movie, Shade is fantastic.
I did not see that. Driven, I'm a huge racing fan, so I enjoy I enjoy seeing actual like IndyCar people in it. It's terrible at depicting racing.
Yeah,
It's a fun movie though. It is fun.
yeah,
I
Driven.
heard that coming out at the same time as Fast and the Furious, and no one saw Driven.
Oh, I got to listen to. I haven't heard that commentary yet.
Rambo
Rambo
2000.
2008 was fun as hell. I saw that in
Yeah.
theaters.
Mhm.
Oh my god, yeah. That was
It's the only
intense.
Rambo movie I've seen, sadly enough.
I know they do. Johnny, I'm with you. I
Yeah.
think look, Stallone and Schwarzenegger need one by now. They gave one to
Yeah.
Jackie Chan a couple years
I was just
ago.
saying, Jackie Chan got one a couple years ago.
So give all those action masters their gold.
Yeah.
Well, I
Stallone,
should have
like,
got it
yeah,
for Creed. I should have got it for Rocky, but you know.
Yeah.
That's
So
difficult.
for his Creed nomination, who beat him?
This
Is
is
he
Mark
Rylance?
Rylance from Bridge of
Mark
Spies.
Rylance?
Oh,
Amazing.
That's a tough because Rylance is fantastic in Bridge of Spies. That's
Tim and I are like on the two people in the world who like it. Mark Rylance is great.
I actually
Yeah.
just bought that film. I haven't watched it because of that for a long time, but I just got it.
Oh, it's a
swap
solid
meet, so.
movie, and he's the best part of it. Very fun.
it's a good movie, but Rylance is another level in it. Like he's the best thing
Yeah.
about that movie.
He kills it.
But yeah, there we go. Yeah, Rylance beating. Yeah, so I like Stallone a lot, but I would go Rylance in that one. Sorry.
But you know, we also argue that Jamie Lee Curtis got hers for a career Oscar. So why
I
couldn't we
wasn't
have done
happy with that.
Stallone?
I hated
I
that.
know,
for-
but it happens. I know, but
It
like
It helps when your movie's also
Yeah.
winning Best Picture and everything else,
it does. help.
yeah.
which Creed was not doing.
All right, so now we're on to Derek's choice, which is a little bit different. Go ahead,
As
Derek.
usual. Right. I didn't go with an actor because there's only like 3 to pick.
He's not picking Steven Seagal.
No,
Yeah, come on now.
I've seen as many Steven Seagal movies as I have John Claude Van. No, I've seen less than John Claude Van Damme movies. I really need to watch Stallone more.
You're
though.
missing
I should
out.
admit it. Because he has some good movies, like legit good movies I haven't seen. But I am going with an action director that I grew up with, who I love, who is more action oriented than he isn't. And all the good movies you know from him are action movies, and that is Paul Verhoeven. And let's just start it out with little 5-year-old Derek watching RoboCop taped off of.
Wow,
the
5-year-old.
5 years old. That movie's
Oh, I watched
Damn.
this, and my next pick went out. Yeah, immediately on HBO. I've seen this movie probably 100 times in my life. Still haven't watched his 4K because I'm an idiot. I did a
Oh, that's
Huck customization with this one though. It's the Blu-ray box set with the 4K steelbook inside of it.
Nice.
And
Love
then I
it.
sold the Blu-ray sucker.
Get
But
a customization. Yeah.
So 5 years old, you saw that guy melting, getting out of the car.
oh yeah, that's the best part. He gets
Exploding.
turns into Saturn, and that was like that was the R-rated movie. It's not quite the X-rated version, but yeah, the blood and the gore. No one's more visceral or sarcastic, or gets into the satire element of the movies. Like Paul Verhoeven, he's the best about it in at least 3 of these 4 movies I'm about to show. He had movies that weren't action, of course. Like I believe he did Basic Instinct, Showgirls, the different kind of action. And then you roll into the other movie I've been watching since I was 5 years old. My favorite. Might be my favorite. It's in like the top 3. All sorts of danger movies of all
So
time.
good.
Like Total Recall. Came out in 1990. 2 weeks. I say that as often as I possibly can when relevant. Once again, it's like he doesn't shy away from the violence in the
No, he
cutscenes
doesn't.
movies. Like he just turns people into explosions with
Yeah.
bullet riddles
Yeah.
and squibs. Like he kept the squid business in business through the
Thriving.
night. God bless Paul Verhoeven for that.
All right,
And
KB.
then it took a while. He did a couple of things nobody cared about in the middle. Showgirls. But in 1997, he came back with the great
Oh,
Starship Troopers,
That's a great
Which is-
one.
like
it's a nice
RoboCop
steelbook.
and Total Recall. Very satirical, so it has my, smart ass sense of humor rolled up in a kick-ass action sci-fi movie, which is what all 3 of these are. I like sci-fi action more than I like my straightforward action, so that's kind of like how I roll. But I still need to watch that 4K. Is it good? Have you watched it?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Starship Troopers.
Oh, yeah.
I love it so much. It's so fun. The bugs.
I'm doing my part.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
Mike,
the
move
military.
my cup. I keep staring at your cup.
You don't like my
Move your
cup?
It was right
Put it on
in
your
the camera.
microphone.
There you go.
Is it really focusing on it?
A little bit more so than you would expect, yeah. And then I just recently bought because it came out 2000's Hollow Man, which isn't it's
Oh,
a kind of action movie, but it's actiony enough that I included it.
Heck
Plus,
yeah.
it was a good name. I love Invisible Man. It's my favorite Universal monster, which I didn't know till 20 years after having watched this movie. But Kevin Bacon, it's creepy, it's gory, just like the other three movies I was talking about. Paul Verhoeven knows how to do action the Derek way without needing it to be so bad that it's good. He makes it so good that it's fun and it's good. So I wanted to honor Mr. Paul Verhoeven today, even though he made Showgirls. So it's okay.
You know, it's really weird. When you threw out that pick, I was like, really? But now that you've said it all, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Those are all really good movies, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite movies of all time in there.
All
And
right.
those three back to back, what a trilogy. You know, if those three in a row.
Yeah.
Man.
Mhm.
Jeff loved your pick.
I assume he means Miami Connection.
Okay, so for my pick, it's a tough one who I'm going to pick. You know, there's so many great action people, but how can I not talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger? This is the guy.
Arnold.
This is the guy.
What?
Shocker.
Oh,
Mamma
this is the
mia.
guy who made action for me. He could be god awful in a role, and he has some bad movies, but he just has this charisma on screen with the line delivery that just brings it home for me. His bad stuff is still a blast, and he's delivered some of the best all-time action movies. We got Predator mixing in action and horror together. Raw Deal, an earlier one, it's a blast. Raw Deal is a good time. Commando, I didn't feel like pulling all of his movies. He's got a lot of great stuff. Last Action Hero, Running Man, my favorite Schwarzenegger. Like no one. Yes, this is my favorite Schwarzenegger.
Oh, I love that.
This one. I love this one so much.
So good.
It gives you that sci-fi twist. You said you like action mixed with sci-fi.
Yep. That's the other one I grew up on. I was like, this is a thing? I probably watched it when I was like 9 years old.
But this one is filled with so many one-liners too, like some of the best one-liners of his career. I love that one. We just got the True Lies 4K. True Lies is so damn good. You know, here's Total Recall mixed with Terminator. Two fantastic Terminator movies. I mean, T2 is by many people considered like the greatest action movie of all time.
Oh, yeah.
You can't go wrong with him. Like everything he's done, even throwing in End of Days, mixing horror, heavy horror in with action. It's a blast. The Sixth Day, that movie got absolutely trashed. A lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And then you throw in his actual comedy movies. Junior is lower tier. I still have fun with it. Twins, who doesn't love Twins?
So good.
And then Eraser. Eraser is freaking great.
I love Eraser.
And then he took his whole governor stopping for governor, but then he comes back and does The Last Stand. That movie's a freaking blast. I love The Last Stand. That was a hell of a way to come back. So I love that guy. Yes, his past, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 movies have not been all that good, but the dude delivered so much in the 80s and 90s that I will just rewatch over and over and over again that it doesn't matter. What's your, so all of you guys like him, right? Because Derek,
I mean, and two more good comedies. You got Kindergarten Cop and Jingle All the Way, which is a staple for a lot of people.
I think the only movie from the 80s and 90s of his I haven't seen Raw Deal, and I haven't seen End of Days. Otherwise, I've seen every single one of his other movies at least once. Most likely in theaters, like Terminator 2. I was 5 years old. I saw that in the drive-in because I loved Terminator 1.
Yeah.
And we're going back to the RoboCop stuff. It was great.
Durant would be perfect to talk about Arnold right now.
Right. You know, get your Arnold. Come on, get down.
Hercules in New York, one of the best so bad it's good movies ever made. Watch that one. And
But yeah, Arnold's fantastic. I mean, him and Sly just wrote the 80s, you know?
yeah,
They really did. They really freaking
Collateral
did.
Damage, yeah.
Collateral Damage, that's a good one. It dealt with a more serious topic, and it wasn't the wise quipping type of movie, but it's still damn good. Twins is a
Oh, I
blast.
love that. Cool, Barry, man.
My wife was talking to her friends at work like 2 days ago about Junior, and none of them had ever heard of it. And I was like, I know it sucks because it's not that good, but it's great, but it's not that good. But
Yeah.
she was just like offended that no one had heard of Twins or Junior because she grew up with it. I grew up with twins, so I love Twins.
So I still need to see. Have you guys seen Maggie? I still never watched that
Yeah,
one.
I did see
Yeah.
Maggie. It was all right.
Okay.
It was okay.
I was like Arnold and zombies, and I just never really got around to that.
It's a very slow like father-daughter drama that happens to be a zombie movie. It's not like an action zombie movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, which would be great, probably.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
Right? It's no Miami Connection.
No, it's not at all.
I mean, it's what we're getting
It's
at.
not even a samurai cop. Let's be honest.
Right? Oh, God.
All right. So the next segment here, which we're going to probably talk about all of these people we just talked about going into it, but this is an interesting one in that I would say the 80s and 90s are peak action. All across the board, the 80s and 90s have the bulk of the best stuff. So I'm kind of curious, what do you guys think is the better decade and why? Is it the 80s or is it the 90s? Which one did better for action? So we'll start this off with Mike. I'm kind of curious. We might all lean the same way, I'm thinking, but we'll start it off with Mike.
Man, no pressure, right? This
Throw
is a
Derek
tough
up there,
one,
give him a
though,
break.
because
No
there's
wrong
such
answer.
great movies in both decades. Oh man, I would probably lean towards 90s though, just because it's newer. That's when I came into this world, so soft spot for the 90s. Growing up with all those movies, yeah, I'm gonna go 90s. Yeah,
And any specific, just because it's the newerish decade?
yeah, it's newer. So
Oh,
I mean,
Similar.
Cliffhanger was 90s. Wasn't Air Force One? That was 90s, right?
Oh
Yeah.
See, there's so many
Seven.
bangers. True Lies, I think that was 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or-
Terminator 2, 90s.
91.
You had all the
91.
bangers in the 90s. Like 80s was good, but something about the 90s just had more memorable to me.
okay. All right. Tim asking the tough question.
I know that was a tough one, man. Wish I would have prepared for that.
All right, Huck.
I would definitely say it's. I appreciate you putting those banners up because when you threw up the 90s, I'm like, oh crap, Mission Impossible. Like I forgot about all
Yeah.
of that stuff because Tom really just keeps reinventing that franchise and it's still so good. So I feel like the 90s is more polished. Like they just got like their budgets got bigger and the kind of the cheese factor got pulled away a little bit for the most part. It's still there. Like you get it in like Demolition Man and things like that. But for me, the 80s, I'm going to lean towards the 80s because that's what I grew up through, Mike. So that's my thing. Whereas, the legends of like Bruce Willis, still, I mean, Die Hard is still like my all-time favorite like action movie of all time. You got that. You got all the Schwarzeneggers, all the Stones, and Harrison Ford, who gave me another one of my all-time favorites. Probably right behind that is Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I
Wow.
even loved the Temple of Doom, which is the grittier one. That's great. Like all three of those are fantastic. And even if you throw in a little bit of comic book love, the first Batman with Michael Keaton, yes, it's comic book, but we've shown some comic book
It's still
collectibles. So I
action.
figured that was worth throwing that in since you guys tossed comic book collectibles out. That was action. So there was just sort of this essence of 70s being these hard dramas, like Godfather and Five Easy Pieces and things like that. That's kind of what it's known for, is those sort of like from Apocalypse Now, stuff like that. I think that's what you think of when you think of 70s, but 80s, it's like those cheesy actions or sci-fi movies. So that's why I lean towards the 80s for that aspect.
Damn, you made a hell of a case for the 80s.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, Indiana Jones and stuff.
Yeah. All right, Derek.
Yeah, I would. I mean, probably for the same reasons as Mike, but I lived it more than him because I'm an old man. like the rest of
I
you.
was just a little baby.
He was just a baby. He was in the womb when I
You were
was
a
watching.
zygote.
He wasn't even in the womb when I was watching Terminator 2 in the drive-in. I would I would go 90s just because more of the action movies I love came out of the 90s. Honestly, like if you
guys
ask me for horror would be the 80s, bar none, no questions. But action, I think Johnny had like the best argument where it's like 85 to mid 90s. I'm like, there you go.
That's cheating.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Come on
like
now.
out of the 80s, the things I love the most are honestly the things I already showed you, which were like RoboCop, and then we mentioned Terminator, the first one. Outside of that, pretty much everything I liked came out of the 90s, like Terminator 2, all the other Schwarzenegger movies, Speed, which I hadn't even thought of,
So good.
Speed's wonderful.
Die Hard sequels, which Die Hard's great, but the Die Hard sequels are good too.
Die
At
Hard
least,
with
the first two.
Vengeance.
At least Die Hard 2 and 3. The other ones, whatever. Yeah, I would go 90s for sure. I love the Nick Cage mid to late 90s action
Yes.
Loris we had with Con Air,
Face
Face
Off.
Off, Rock, Armageddon.
See, you guys are so young. I'm going to lose this one.
Oh, it's not a contest. We're just talking about it.
I wasn't
Yeah,
sure.
I would go 90s just because, obviously I grew up with that. I saw all these movies in theaters and I fell in love with all of them organically. I didn't have to watch them 20 years down the line and hope I liked them.
That
like
was
somebody
me.
else do. Yeah.
That's my.
I got to see Independence Day in theaters. I got to see
That's
Con
right.
Air and Armageddon in theaters. Terminator 2 in theaters. It was great. So yeah, I would go 90s. And Twister. You even mentioned Twister. Twister's
Oh God, yeah. So I will actually talk Twister and stuff too. So I'm going 90s, which was tough because damn did Huck make a heck of a case for the 80s. But
I
a
should
lot
toss
of,
aliens in there too. We had aliens in the
Oh.
80s. Come on.
Oh.
So good.
you didn't try to make me change on the fly here. But
Alien
trying.
3.
Try it.
but
Yeah.
a lot of the 80s is built on the tough guy kicking ass persona. That's what most of the 80s is. And the upper tier 80s is amazing. The mid tier 80s kind of depends. Whereas when you shift to the 90s, mid tier like action was even damn good. And
Mhm.
you also pivoted. You still got the big tough buff guys mixed with the everyday action hero, like getting Harrison in The
Oh,
Fugitive. Just
so
an
good.
everyday guy.
I love
So
it.
You had Speed was already brought up. Speed is he's just a regular everyday cop. Keanu's not buff or anything in this movie. He's just a cop. So you started getting the everyday guy. I talked about the mid-level movies, the kind of in the not B movies, but the not top tier stuff. And you get like super quality stuff like Executive Decision, Drop Zone.
Killing
Like
me.
these are great freaking movies. Cliffhanger was already brought up. Here you still get the big buff action hero you get in the 80s, but now in the 90s. You mix
Halo.
action in with science fiction and stuff, and you get
yeah.
Men in Black is a freaking blast. Demolition Man already been brought up, freaking great. You still get buff action hero Arnold, but battling the devil. Twister has been brought up. Some of the best of natural disaster type movies and best era of Bond. Hands down, best era of Bond.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan's Bond is
Bar never dies. Yep.
yes, GoldenEye, like all of, so 90s. You said it the best, Huck. I think you said it refined it. The 90s really refined a lot about what made the 80s great, but also added in twisting action in with more genres, giving us, the everyday guy, because that's what Bruce Willis for Die Hard kind of made that everyday action hero. Yeah. And that's what it was the catalyst for a whole ton of movies just doing the same damn thing in the 90s, but doing it really freaking well. So
the Die Hard on a blank genre.
Die Hard on a blank.
Speed is, but I still prefer Speed over Die Hard. Sorry. But
I can't go that, but I do love Speed.
I mean, and I can't argue with any of that. I think everything y'all have said about the 90s, it just has me glowing like, oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. But, 90s is great. And what's funny, though, is aside from those 2 decades and aside from probably Mission Impossible, I don't feel like we've had like the aughts action movies or the teens. Like I feel like those two just hold on to the greatest of all action,
Yeah.
You got your genre or your franchise here and there, like John Wick, but that's about it.
Well, it went to
Right.
superhero movies. That became like the new big blockbuster.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
the superheroes is taking
Superhero
over the
movies
last.
became the action
decade and
movie,
a
which is
half.
what I like. I grew up loving superheroes, so I was like, "This is the best thing ever."
Yeah,
So, like
Yeah.
Blade. Like,
Oh,
I didn't mention
Executive
Blade in the
Decision
90s.
is so good.
yeah, so good. And I didn't even mention Under Siege movies.
Siege
Are
is
Under
fun.
Siege.
Under
Under Siege
Siege
is fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, that's good Seagal, Under Siege.
It is a shame though that now we haven't really. Keanu has reinvented himself now as an action guy in his 50s. It took Liam Neeson in his 50s to reinvent himself. We don't get that younger action guy. The closest we
Come
got.
on, Ryan Reynolds. You know, he is the next
No.
action star,
He's
right?
not an action guy. Ryan Reynolds is if
This
he's
free guy was very actiony. Okay, come on.
he's not an action guy.
Academy
though.
Award-winning action star.
Hey, well,
Tim.
that's
You know
what we
it.
have to work with now, Tim. You got to
No,
do it.
I was going to say the closest we got is Statham has been the one holding on to that crown
There you go.
of the best possible.
Or
Statham
The
has
Rock.
been
You say The Rock too.
Yeah, The Rock. Yeah, The Rock.
Hey, he's
I
in
mean,
more movies I've liked than Jason Statham. But
Yeah.
I'm a wrestling fan, if you couldn't tell from earlier. So
Well, and they tried to give us Matt Damon as an action star. They didn't quite. I mean, you know, those movies are good, but you still don't think of him as an action star, you know, or Ben Affleck. They've done action movies, but they're dramatic actors who've done a couple of, like Ryan Reynolds.
good acting.
yeah, and
He's
that's
a
the
comedy
same way with like a Ryan Gosling has dipped into action, but I don't think about him that way. Like there's actors that dip into it, but I don't think about him like I think about. Here's a great one, Gerard Butler. I think about him with
There you go.
action. He's invented himself as an action guy. Most of his movies are pretty much action. We
Oh,
don't
yeah.
get a whole lot of actors like that these
Most of them
days.
are pretty bad though. So
That trilogy, the Has Fallen trilogies, those are
they're good.
excellent. Those
Yeah.
are excellent.
They are good. Marky Mark, he's got a
Yeah,
pretty.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
of the Funky Bunch,
Right. That's right.
So
yeah, he was
That's-
starting to be there, and then he became a real actor.
that about ends the action talk. Before we get into recommendations, did you guys have anything else to touch on action wise?
I just want to watch all
Well,
these.
I'm excited to see the Fall Guy of the action movies coming
it's
out.
fun. Yeah.
Talk about your, Ryan Gosling. It looks fun. I love the TV show coming out. We didn't even really touch on action television shows. There's something we are talking about action, and there's a whole thing unto itself. That's a genre that is wonderful. A-Team, Miami Vice, MacGyver.
MacGyver's great.
Magnum PI. So many good things like that.
Monkey Man does look pretty good.
Oh,
That was good. I've heard that was good. Saw the
Yeah.
trailer.
And Fall Guy does look really good. I'm excited for it. I did read it's mostly a rom-com dressed as an action movie, but as long as it's well done, I'm cool with it. As long as
Okay.
it's
Well made.
I like a good rom-com.
and I agree, Bob. Neeson
Action
is
rom-com is the best kind. Makes me want to see it.
Neeson as the action star is interesting because it took he wasn't an action guy until Taken. He
Right.
invented himself at that point, so he didn't invent himself into that until like what, mid-50s?
Yeah.
I think so.
But he only does
His
the action where
recent
you'll
movies.
have 17 cuts of a guy jumping over a fence. He doesn't do like the lockdown Jackie Chan one-shot action. It's a little-
And have you seen some of his recent movies like Retribution? Oh my gosh, that movie's terrible.
Not so good. I think he hit his window and he needs to get back to just drama.
He took advantage of a very smart thing for him, money.
Oh, yeah.
career-wise. He
Oh,
did,
yeah.
He needed,
And
they
kudos.
need to go back and make a new Darkman and then have him be in it.
Oh,
Hey,
he was
you
so
go.
good in Darkman. Love that.
But yeah, all right. So that about ends the action part, and
Wait,
now we're gonna
I will say one more real quick.
go
There's
ahead.
another thing we didn't touch on are the amazing action women like Michelle Yeoh, Cynthia Rothrock. I mean,
Yeah.
the list goes on and on. Like there's some stellar, and I just thought of this just now. It wasn't an intentional snub. I just went Stallone because he's my fave. But so many fantastic action female stars out there. Linda Hamilton, Sigourney Weaver. Like, let's give them a little, just a little love and shout out. Mike, give them some hearts. Show them some hearts, Mike. There it is.
And as far
All
as a kick-ass female
Oh.
director goes, Catherine Bigelow.
Catherine
Yeah,
Bigelow.
Yes, action director as well.
Ooh, the chat has mentioned. So we didn't talk Denzel.
Mhm.
Great action stuff from Denzel. I still think of him more as drama, but when he touches action, the dude does good stuff. The Equalizer movies are really freaking good. And then also for women, Gina Davis, hell
Davis.
yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
She's good at it when she does it, which
She's
is
great in
not
that.
Cage is fantastic.
No, yeah, Cage. He was another good one. Could have picked.
Cage.
Yeah, for sure.
It would be cool to orient the stream though at some point towards the women though, because there is a lot of really great ones. Even I talked about this with my wife, but Mila Jovovich, if I can never pronounce her
Mila
name right,
Jovovich, yep.
yeah,
Yep.
she does great action stuff. I like her a lot. Like even just the Resident Evil movies, even though they're like action horror, they're really good. I enjoy them for what they are. They're dumb fun.
Yeah, Charlize Theron's good at it too when she does it.
Yes. Yep.
Even though she's a great actress.
There we go. Tiana likes the idea of a women's stream. Yeah. It would be fun because sometimes you kind of default to the guys, but women need the love too. And we just watched the Aliens 4K the other night, and we're getting a laugh out of the whole Jennifer Lawrence saying she was the first women action star.
Or Hunger Games or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not even an action movie, hardly. I like her though. Shut up.
Okay, so
True Lies, Jamie Lee Curtis. She's in True Lies. That's a great
Yes.
action movie.
she's in it. She's not really an action person besides
She becomes one.
she drops the gun down the steps and it's I
Right.
love that.
Yeah, she becomes one.
I can't do it anymore. It doesn't have the same charm. No, 80s and 90s is
They're too serious now. Where I just like it bores me. I think whenever I try to watch an action movie.
Angelina.
Yeah.
You didn't
Angelina.
mention Angelina. Yes.
Oh yeah, with all the Tomb Raiders and stuff.
Wanted.
All Tomb Raiders.
I'm glad we could keep you company, man. Thoughts with you. We're here for you.
Yep.
So we will now dive into our recommendations. As we do with every one of these, we give recommendations for each other that we will watch for a recommendation stream that we do pre-next Collectors Club episode. And the next one is on Hawk's channel, right?
It is.
All right, good.
Yeah.
So
I'm taking over.
next one is on Huck's channel. If you wanted to actually start this, because you can give the theme of what we're given for the recommendations here.
Sure. All right. So next month, April month, my birthday month, so I'm very excited. We're going to take on some comedy with Saturday Night Live. And I am hoping, I was going to tell these guys, we should do our show on Saturday night. I think that would be a
Ooh.
lot of fun to time it that way.
I'm on
And really
Sundays. So I'm all there.
Give it up. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna give each other movies based on any film that stars an actor from the Saturday Night Live from its inception in the 70s to now, picking any actor and any film. So that's our plan for the next one. So we're gonna have our recommendation come up first, and then we'll have the big show near the end of the month where we just get all Saturday Night Live, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, that is a really cool theme. We kind of throw themes around a lot in the chat trying to see what sounds best. And this is a cool theme. I enjoy this a lot because I love SNL.
So do I.
Yeah, and it's extremely expansive. You can go so many places because there's been so many. And it's funny too, because there are some people who were on Saturday Night Live for just a season, and you can snatch up one of those actors and be completely obscure, by doing that.
Yep.
So
do you want to throw your recommendations out first?
I do. I'm going to go ahead and give it. So I'll go around this way. So Derek, we're going old school Saturday Night Live with Chevy Chase, and we're picking Foul Play for you.
Nice.
And the other thing too is, remember too, we've all seen so many movies, so we had to figure out like pockets that none of us have seen. So Tim, I'm going to give you one with multiple SNL actors, and that's Reality Bites, because you got Ben Stiller, who was actually on. You got Janine Garofalo. And Mike, I'm happy to hand you City Slickers, which
That's
had
such a
Billy
fun
Crystal.
one.
So I'm excited for you because I think that's one of those like just epic comedies that did so well. And One Arm Push Up, Jack Palance was nominated and won the Academy Award for
movie, Mike. Think of it that way.
supporting actor. So I think you'll like that. So yeah, I'm excited to give you guys those movies, and I'll even try to rewatch because I haven't seen pretty much all of those in a while. So I'd like to refresh, and hopefully we all like those. So
Yeah.
all right, who's next?
Let's go with Derek.
We'll go, I guess. Yeah, I lucked out, and I love Chris Farley, and everyone has not seen a Chris Farley movie, which worked out. So, Tim, you get to watch not only Chris Farley, but Norm Macdonald. You get to watch Chevy Chase in Dirty Work, which is one of my all-time favorite comedies.
Nice.
Oh God, it's so funny. And we like dumb funny, so
Yes,
I think
I
you'll
do.
enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
Mike, you haven't seen Black Sheep with Chris Farley and David Spade
It's a
and Gary
fun one.
Busey, which is always fun. It's no Tommy Boy, I'll be honest, but it's still a fun time. Anything with Chris Farley and David Spade is good. You should like it. Huck, you get to watch two of your favorite people alongside Chris Farley, directed by SNL alum Chris. Brain farted his name. Christopher Guest.
Christopher
There we
Guest?
go. Also
Nice.
has Harry Shearer as the narrator,
Oh,
with Almost Heroes starring Chris Farley, Matthew Perry, and Eugene Levy. And probably my favorite thing I've ever seen Eugene Levy in. He's amazing.
Really?
So it's
all right.
That's strong words.
and that's also part of the Warner Archive sale. It's only on DVD though. It's the crappy part.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yep, it's a
Add
Warner
to
Archive
cart.
DVD. I don't know if it's in there, but it is a Warner Archive DVD.
All right. Mike, go ahead, give yours.
All right. So first up, Huck, we're gonna go with Andy Sandberg in Pop Star Never Stop Stopping. I think that's the title
I'm
right there.
excited.
Now, I'm not
Yeah.
confident in this choice at all. So if you like it, that's gonna be awesome. So
I'm excited.
hopefully you
I
do.
love Andy
It's
Samberg.
very dumb funny.
Dude, Brooklyn Nine-Nine makes me laugh out loud
Oh,
all the time.
You're
So
gonna
I
love
think
this one, man.
I think you may have done good. So don't worry.
Pop
All
Star is so good, man. I wish I could watch it for the first time again.
Oh,
Walk
all right.
along, let's go. All right, Derek is going to get a more serious film here. We're going to go with Adam Sandler, but not in a comedy. We're going to go with his drama film, Uncut Gems, which is my 17th favorite movie of all time. So if
17.
Derek hates this one, this is going to be
Very,
very,
very
sad.
specific.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to bring the
Good.
tissue for it. Yeah. So.
Been waiting years to watch it, so now I have a reason.
But I think this is a good chance for you liking it. Like it's in your wheelhouse, very.
Oh yeah,
art
I've been
dramatic,
looking forward to it.
off-screen
I haven't
type
cut
of
it
stuff.
on and done yet.
And then Tim, just because Tim is the toughest person to find something that he hasn't seen yet. And so you're getting Strays. It's a newer movie, so I know you haven't seen it. You're getting talking, cussing, raunchy dogs, Will Ferrell, so have fun with that. I'm not confident that
Have
one.
fun with that.
I
enjoyed
know.
it, Fran.
Confident choice
Have fun with
there,
it. I liked
but,
Have fun with
I
that.
thought it was funny.
Have
Got
fun.
Will Forte in it too. I love Will Forte. So
All right. So for me,
I love
for Mike, he is getting a drama, but part of this is you're trying to aim towards what you think someone will like. And I do actually really think Mike will like this. So I'm going to give him Gifted, which the SNL connection is actually Jenny Slate is in this, who was on one season of SNL. So that's the SNL connection.
Jenny
Huck, I'm very excited. Huck is getting MacGruber.
MacGruber. All right.
love
That's
MacGruber.
great.
I love this movie so much. So if you
It's a
enjoy
MacGyver
the
ripoff, right?
huh?
It's a MacGyver ripoff, I'm guessing, right?
Oh, 100%.
That's what
Yeah,
the sketch was.
right.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right.
It's so fun. So you'll either like the dumb comedy or hate it. I adore it. I love this one.
Yeah,
I like
it's
dumb
amazing.
comedy. That's good.
And Derek is tough, very tough. I can't pinpoint him all the time, and I don't know if he's gonna like this, but I don't give a fuck. He's gonna watch it.
You owe me one. Okay.
Yeah, I feel the same way about foul play.
And that is, he is gonna watch The Librarian.
What?
The SNL connection is Jane Curtin is in the first, or actually all three. She's in all three movies, different roles, but or different length roles. But it's Indiana Jones for TV essentially. And if you don't like it,
Funny.
whatever. I don't care. You made me watch
What?
Things. So,
As long as the librarian is an experience on the level of things, I won't be mad. So my
It's
wife
that
was
kind
Noah
of-
Wiley, so she'll like watching it for that reason.
It's that kind of love we have for each other. Like, if you like it, I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah.
You're watching it. That's what I
You're
love
doing
about you guys.
Yeah, now you gotta watch something even worse.
Awesome. I
So,
love it.
As long as I
That's
don't
what
need to see it, I'll watch whatever.
so
They
that's,
sound good.
that's what we got for the recommendations. In April, we will be going over what we thought about these on Huck's channel, along with our Collectors Club episode. So look forward to those in April. Look forward to the dates coming up. And now we'll just go around and whatever we got coming up on our channels. And we'll start it off with Mike.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of amazing people in the comments tonight. So shout out to the audience. Fantastic participation there. But I also saw some new names in there that haven't been over to my channel, at least not on a live stream. So come on, join us and have a great time. We have live streams coming up almost every week. So next week, we got a raunchy comedy stream on Wednesday night. That's going to be a ton of laughs. Also, we got a Ghostbuster franchise ranking stream the week after that, and the streams just keep coming. So definitely join along for that, and video content every day. We got out of theater reactions. We got Amazon deal videos, movie numbers. I mean, tons of stuff. Just come over, and it's going to splash all over you. You're going to have a great time. I'm going to be showered with
And not in a
Really
weird
choice
way.
of words.
I'll give you a heart too. Yes, enjoy the hearts.
Aw.
There you go.
All right, Huck.
So I just put up a video today. I went to one of my favorite thrift stores who let me dig through 12 boxes, y'all. 12 boxes to find the gold. That doesn't happen all the time. Help me get my YouTube algorithm back up to where it used to be. A video like that would literally explode, and it's only at 373 right now. So let's show that video some love. Share it with your friends. That'd be great. Coming up on Tuesday, Morning Mug's gonna have a co-host. Gonna have Wilkie. aka Corey, is going to join me Tuesday morning, and we're just going to do the usual, but it'll be a co-hosted thing, which I always love having a co-host on Tuesday morning. So that should be tons of fun. And I will have a Ghostbuster Frozen Empire reaction video probably tomorrow.
Nice. All right, Derek.
I don't have anything super specific coming up. I'll do what I end up doing. Once the war season stops, I'm just like, I'm going to breathe for a minute. Because I do a lot during that. But I did do a Walmart shopping video this week. I did a double half price book shopping video, thrifting video this week. And then on Tuesday, I'll be back on my little brother Bob's channel with more game night stuff along with Tim. So yeah, that'll be fun.
All right. And I just want to say, touching on what Mike said, you guys in the chat were freaking awesome, man.
Yeah.
I was having a hard time keeping up with the chat for like most of the night.
Yeah,
you guys killed it. You were all awesome. I love you all. I love this community so much. Thank you for being part of the Collectors Club. We wouldn't be doing this a year later if it wasn't for all of you.
Right.
So, look forward to season 2 of the Collectors Club next month. And that's gonna be about it. Once I find the closing thing, there we go.
There.
All right, bye everyone.
Who's that?